Okay, so the second, actually the next three, we're going to talk about factoring by pulling out a binomial, and a lot of this, the next few will boil down to being able to factor out a common binomial. So, first of all, and we talked about this in class, just to remind you what a binomial is. That's whenever you have two different terms. It could be x plus 4, it could be 2x cubed minus 7. Those are two different terms. Here we go, we're going to start with the problem here. If I have 7x minus 3 minus 2x x minus 3, I want you guys to look at this as you have b times a plus, because that's plus a negative 2, you can even write that, plus c times a. What's common between both of these terms? A. So that's what you're going to pull out, is you're going to pull out the a. Just because it's a binomial doesn't mean that you can't pull it out. So still you can take that out, that's common. And then you're going to rewrite what's left over. And that would be the 7x minus, the 7 minus 2x. And that's going to go together in another set of parentheses. So you could FOIL, you could box and check it, but you may have to do a few more things just to get it to this point, but you will still get the same final answer. Okay? And here it's to rewrite the remaining factors. That would be the 7 minus 2x. Okay, next one, let's try this one. Have negative t on the outside, in parentheses, t squared plus 4, and then you have plus, and then another in parentheses, t squared plus 4. So let's talk about that again, that using the variables. I have b times a plus c times a. My question to you is, what is a?
T squared.
Plus 4. Okay, so it's t squared plus 4. B is negative t. What is c? Y'all with me on the c being 1?
Oh, that's a plus, not a t.
Yeah, that's a plus. My t has a little curve there. Okay. So, what is c? Now, going back to that question, what is c? 1 is correct. So, if you're not sure, you have to think, well, what can I put here that will not affect this outcome? And that would be 1. So I'll rewrite it. And I can see clearly that I have a common binomial, t squared plus 4. So I'm going to take that one out, and whatever's left, that's going to be put together in the next set of parentheses. Your greatest common factor was t squared plus 4. Start making notes of that to the side also. Okay, next one really quick. Let's do this one. Write it first. You have 9x inside parentheses x plus 4 minus 5, and then the next set of parentheses 4 plus x. Do you have a common binomial?
Not yet.
Not yet, but Lauren, you said yes. Why?
Because 4 plus x is the same thing.
Good. So you kind of do have that common binomial. Why can't I switch these up?
Property of
Communicative property of addition. I know I have a hard time saying it too. It's your property of addition. Basically, 3 plus 2 is the same as 2 plus 3. Same situation here.
You wouldn't multiply by negative 1?
No, not on this situation. And that's going to come up in a few minutes. Okay. Okay, now that I realize that I have a common binomial, I can take that out, divide that out, and now whatever's left, your 9x minus 5, they take up their own set of parentheses. Okay, last one on this section, and then we'll start moving through these a little bit faster. I have negative 3x squared inside parentheses x plus 2, and then I have 4, and inside the next set of parentheses x minus 7. Do you have a common binomial? No, you don't. So some people want to argue that you can take out an x here. Is x plus 2 the same as x plus 7? No, you cannot make it the same thing. So I cannot pull out the x. I don't know what that is, and these are not the same thing right here. So you can't pull that out the way it is. So what are you going to say?
Already factored.
It's already factored. Very good. There's no greatest common factor. It's factored. Okay. Let's look at the next set. And that will be factoring by grouping. Factoring by grouping. Okay, so I've gotten the question already, like how do you know when to use which strategy? Here's the deal. The ones that we just did, they had 2 or 3 terms. This one is going to start out with 4 terms. So that right there should give you a clue that you're going to probably group. So what I want to look for is find the terms that have common numbers or variables. So if I look at 12a cubed and 9a squared, what's common between these two?
3a squared.
Okay, you have a 3a squared in both of them. What about these two? What's
5.
common? Okay, 5 would be common. Now, is there anything common between all 4?
Nope.
Okay, so that means I'm going to group these 2 together and these 2 together. Okay, and whenever I do that, I now have 2 different sets of parentheses. I'm going to factor out what's common here, and I'm going to factor out what's common here. Whenever you do that, you now get a common binomial. Okay, so we factored out the 3a squared, leaving us with 4a minus 3. Factor out a 5, leaving you with 4a minus 3. And voila, you have 2 4a minus 3. So you have a common binomial situation. So going back to the previous notes, I'm going to take that out, and then whatever's left over is going to be left in the set of parentheses. It's like magic. What happens when you don't get a common binomial? It may already be factored, or there may be a negative sign situation that you have to deal with. Okay? One good thing, and I like to show everybody this throughout the whole system, is you can check. At this point, you can check by foiling or box. So back to that previous unit that we just finished, all of that good stuff that you learned how to do, you can now use it. Whenever you get this, I looked through this, I boxed it. I have 12a cubed minus 9a squared plus 20a minus 15. And if I take that, that goes right back to where I started. Okay? That's a really good thing about all of this. You can check your work. There's no reason to get some of these wrong. Okay? Next one, I have 9x to the power of 3 plus 18x to the power of 2 plus x plus 2. And I've already grouped these together. Originally, they did not have parentheses. Whenever I do that, I have what's common between these two terms?
3x squared.
3x squared. I believe there's something else that's common.
9x squared.
9x squared would be the common one, so I'm going to pull that out. What's common between the x and the 2? 1. So I can pull out that 1 there too, also. Okay? Whenever I do that, I get a common binomial situation. So now I have x plus 2 is your common binomial, and you're going to take that out, leaving you with 9x squared plus 1. Okay? The last one is factoring with opposites. Let's see if I can find it. Factoring by grouping opposites. Switch this out. Another set. Pretty much what you just saw. Here we go. Factoring by grouping opposites. All right.